Hello and Happy New Year. It's Marla. Welcome back. I wanted to do a special pick a card reading for you guys today. And this reading is going to be all about what's happening with your life purpose or your mission for 2020. You can go ahead and pick 1, 2, or 3. Number 1 is an amethyst. Number 2 is pyrite, and number 3 is celestite. The primary deck I'm going to be using today is the Life Purpose Oracle by Doreen Virtue, but I'm going to be using a lot of different decks probably. I don't really have a plan for this reading. I'm just gonna wing it and see where it leads us. So go ahead and make your choice and look for the timestamps in the information section or also in the comments. Thank you. Okay, so this is pick number 1 if you chose the amethyst crystal. Let's see what is going on regarding your life purpose in 2020. Many cards. Okay. So from the Life Purpose Oracle deck, we have Justice. Your career brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. Nutrition. You conduct healing work with your culinary skills. Love and light. or light and love rather. Your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to this world. And counseling. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathic ear. Okay. So let me just tune into these. Okay, so when I'm looking at these cards, these 3 rows here, and we have the Oracle deck that I told you about. We also have the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. We have the Ascended Masters deck by Doreen Virtue. We have the Past Life Oracle deck, and we have the Native Spirit deck. But when I'm, forget this row for a minute, when I'm looking at these, and this often happens unintentionally when I'm doing readings, but I'm getting a sense that these cards go together, these cards in a row. Okay, so the first card, Justice, and then we have Higher Self and Come Out of the Closet. So I feel like your mission this year is going to have a lot to do with becoming more balanced. That's one of the primary things. You see the angel in this Justice card is holding a scale, okay? And balance is actually going to be something that's very important in 2020. It's a 4-year. Well, it's actually a 22-year. We technically don't reduce 22 because that's a master number, but we can look at it as a 4. And in that sense, it's a foundation, and we need to have balance in order to have a strong foundation. And yeah, like I said, I feel like I'm going to be talking about balance a lot coming up, because I feel that many of you are in that process of really bringing balance to your life. But when we look at the issue of justice, and of course, you know, there's many ways that we can contribute a sense of justice to the world. But if we don't have balance, how can we really bring justice to the world? Because justice is about fairness. But if we don't have our own sense of balance, if we can't see both sides of a situation, if we can't take the higher perspective, then what kind of justice are we actually bringing? So I feel like in 2020, for you, a real core of what you're working on is creating this sense of balance. And the cards are saying what you're going to be doing is bringing more of your higher self into the picture. And this actually is a 2 card. So embodiment is what I'm getting. 2020 is a year where you might be embodying your higher self more. And when we do that, we naturally become in line with balance, with being able to see both sides of the story and being able to be fair and just in whatever situation we're dealing with. And then come out of the closet, of course. And these cards are saying, in order to begin to embody your higher self and to bring this sense of justice, you have to be able to come out of the closet. You have to be able to show your soul light. You have to be able to speak your truth without being intimidated. You can't let other people's sense of justice or other people's lack of justice stop you from your purpose and what you're supposed to speak about and what you're supposed to act on. So, yeah, your higher self this is going to be important, and that's what's creating these other things. We also have here nutrition. Okay, so it says you conduct healing work with your culinary skills. Okay, so I'm getting two separate things here. For some of you, if you already know or have felt that nutrition was part of your calling, perhaps you are a nutritional therapist, you're into integrative nutrition, you like to help people with understanding their food choices. Maybe you're just a really good cook and you like to nourish people by cooking. Then 2020 is a year where you are going to see an expansion of that skill. And if we look at these other cards, we have intuition and manifestation and health and healing. Okay, so they're telling you that this is a year where something deeper about your nutritional skills are going to be manifesting. And yes, you will be helping others to heal through understanding their nutritional choices. And certainly as we awaken and as we ascend, nutrition is a very important part of that journey, and nourishing and honoring our body and the changes that we go through for the ascension process. Now, for another segment of you, what I'm getting is that this nutrition card is actually a sign for you that you're not taking good care of your body right now, and that in 2020, your guides would like you to focus more on nutrition. Or, as I said, our body changes when we ascend. And so nutrition is something that you may need to adjust. Now, when we are working on embodiment of our higher self, our nutrition definitely changes. And so you may find that you just are naturally called more towards healthy food, fresh food, simple food. And why is that important? Well, they're telling you that this is important for your ability to tune into your intuition. And I know there would be many people that would argue this fact, but I believe that the healthier we treat our body, the more our intuition grows. That might not be true for everybody. I don't want to make generalizations, but when we eat right, I think we have more focus, more ability to tap in. And definitely, this card is saying that you're needing to do some healing, or that there's going to be a focus on either your health or your healing, or maybe both in 2020. Then we have here love, light and love. Why do I want to say love first all the time? Your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to this world. Okay, so this is definitely something that's going to be a major part of your purpose this year. So the card under it is playing it safe. So what I'm getting is that this has to do with an opening your heart, opening your energy field. I feel like perhaps, leading up to this year, you've been the type of person to play it safe. And you can see back here, there's fireworks going off, and yet she's like behind the fence. She's not paying attention to what's going on out there. And indeed, there's this whole wide world out there. But, we know because there's a fence that this woman has been limiting herself in some way. She's been afraid to take a risk and step out into this unknown. So this year, like, your ability to bring light and love to the world is going to require that you take a risk, that you stop playing it safe. And we can see this because your higher self is coming out more strongly, and you're being told, come out of the closet. It's like what I'm getting is, bring your light and love to the world. Don't hide it anymore. Whatever you've been doing that has kind of played it safe, maybe you didn't feel ready, or you didn't know what you were supposed to do, or maybe you've been getting guided to do something, but you just weren't sure, or you were a little bit afraid. Well, this is a year where you overcome your fears. And Buddha here has this card, meditate. And I feel like your guides are saying that meditation is important for you this year. The way that you're going to break through your fears, and the way you're going to manifest, and the way that your higher self comes through is in meditation. Again, I know there's some people that are going to argue, but from what I've seen in a very general sense is when you take care of your physical body, one of those things being meditation, the stronger connection you develop to these other things. So make sure that you're taking time for you. And I definitely feel like for you, really nourishing yourself, caring for yourself is going to be important for this year. And then we have counseling. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. Okay, so I feel like counseling is kind of the major thing here. Now, counseling, again, can take many forms, okay? I would definitely consider myself a counselor. And you have many tools at your disposal that you could use for counseling. You could use tarot cards, you could use your intuition, you can use your knowledge. Maybe you're actually a therapist or a psychologist, or you want to become one, or maybe you want to counsel people on nutrition. Maybe you want to counsel people on their health. Maybe you want to counsel people on how they can meditate. So I definitely feel like these things are leading up to this, because these things are part of it. Taking care of yourself, being able to be in your heart, being able to speak your truth, being just, being compassionate. You can't counsel someone if your idea of justice is very narrow, or if you're not balanced in your own ideas. When we want to counsel people, help people, we have to be very open. We don't want to come from a place of judging people. We need to come from a space of that light and love and understanding. Now, this card here is interesting. Deception. Well, the first thing that I'm getting with this deception card is that maybe you're not trusting yourself, some of you. Maybe you're worried that people are talking about you behind your back. And you're thinking, I'm afraid to give advice, or who am I to give advice? If I put myself out there and I start saying certain things, people are going to be talking about me, criticizing me, judging me. Maybe they're going to make fun of me. Maybe they're going to call me stupid. So there's some sort of internal fear that you may need to overcome. Okay, and I'm also getting that another thing is there's some old patterns or some old perceptions that some of you need to change. Okay, because what I'm feeling is you may be thinking that people are responding to you in one way, but that might not be the truth. Like you might be thinking, if I do this, if I say this, these people are going to be judging me and making fun of me. But this person could be saying, wow, did you hear what she did? It was so amazing. You should go check it out. Because I feel like this person is actually not judging. And okay, so then one more thing that this might apply to you, this is a general reading, so you have to take what resonates with you. Also, for some of you, it's like you're playing the judge. You're counseling and you're listening to people and you're helping people see a different perspective. You're helping people understand the negative things that are going on. And this card could just be representing like people are coming to you and they're talking to you. Like you may be like a natural counselor. People might just be drawn to you to come and share things with. So even if you don't officially, you're not officially planning to become a counselor, it could be that your job, whatever it is that you do, you might be the person that people come to share things with, to talk through things with. And maybe you need to bring this sense of balance and justice, this higher perspective to some situations around you. Because maybe you find that there's some mean people or some gossips or something like that around you. And your job may be to step forward and tell these people no. And Archangel Michael is saying, you can do it. This is about cutting cords with the past. When he's saying you can do it, he's saying you can change, you can do these things. Because I feel like looking at these cards, maybe for some of you, there's a part of you that hasn't been sure. You've been playing it safe and you haven't been sure about how to go about it or what exactly you're supposed to do, or if you can really trust yourself with the things that you get. For some of you, you might be channeling your higher self without even realizing it, but maybe you're not trusting that. But the more that you take care of yourself, the more you're going to build that trust. Now, the past life skills that you're bringing to your life purpose in 2020, the first thing is forgiveness. And this makes sense because like I said, you have this counseling energy. You want to help people. You want to talk to people. You want to help them understand, how to be just, how to take care of themselves, how to bring love in the world. And you have experienced in your past lives how to forgive. I feel like you're a person that's been through a lot of struggle, maybe a lot of persecution in the past, or maybe even in this lifetime. Maybe you've been abused as a child, or you've had very challenging relationships. And your higher self is saying the reason why you experienced that was so you could learn forgiveness. And now your job is to take your wonderful sense of love and compassion and help other people understand that forgiveness is really key to ascension and to just changing their life for the better. Because anytime we're not forgiving, right, we're keeping ourselves in a negative energy that we don't need to. The second thing that you're very good at is monk or nun. Okay, so you have had past lifetimes where you have sacrificed. And don't just think Christianity, there's other kinds of monks. There's Buddhist monks, for example. But you've participated in certain religious orders where you learn compassion. I mean, monks and nuns, they dedicate their lives to service, and they know what it means to sacrifice. So in your past lives, you've developed these skills of compassion and service, and that's a skill that you are being blessed with, returning to, because that's a major force within your life purpose too. Now, the native spirit guidance is prayer feather. Love is flowing to you and through you. No matter what an individual is saying or doing, love him or her anyway. Gather your inner forces. Silently and secretly love deeply and fully, with every ounce of your being. Even if someone isn't fulfilling your expectations, it's easy to love people when they're acting wonderfully. The true challenge is to love them when they aren't. Feathers in native cultures often represent a connection with the Creator. Birds often symbolize messengers between the two-legged human world and spirit world. This is your time to love and be loved. The love that you send out into the world comes back to you hundredfold. There are times when the small concerns of everyday life need to drop away and be replaced by the majesty of your being. This is that time. Prayer feathers are decorated feathers that can be used for many purposes. In some tradition, prayers are placed into the feathers. You can hold it to your heart or between your hands as you focused on your prayer, and then tied into a bush so that when the wind blows, it carries the prayers to the Creator. Another kind of prayer feather is a decorated feather or a decorated bundle of feathers that are used for smudging ceremonies. The smoke is to cleanse the space as well as carry your prayers upward. Okay, so I think the beginning is the most important part, because this is saying love is flowing to you and through you. No matter what an individual is doing, love him or her anyway. So I feel like a lot of what this card is saying is one of your roles this year is just to be this light and love, to really epitomize that, to be a guide by your actions this year. You got this sense of justice. You want to help people. If we look at this deception card, this kind of goes with that. There might be some people that maybe did you wrong. Maybe they lied to you. Maybe they've talked about you behind their back. Maybe they stabbed you in the back somehow. Okay? But the prayer feather card is saying that you know how to love, how to be just, and just love people no matter where they're at. Bring these two things. Again, forgiveness and loving people where they're at doesn't mean that you continue to let people take advantage of you or continue to harm you. It means that you may have to set boundaries with people. Sometimes setting a boundary is love. But I think for me, it's saying, understand that what other people choose to do is not about you. It's about their wounds. And have compassion for them, even if they can't be nice to you or to themselves. So, very good reading. I hope that that resonated with you. If you would like a personal reading about your love life, about work, you can check out my website, twinstrology.com. Okay, if you chose number 2, the pyrite, this is going to be your reading. I'm not sure that that's the right card. Sometimes if they just flip out, I have to see if I'm intuitively guided if that was the right card. And I feel like it was not. Too many cards. Go. Liking that first row so far. Oh, that was an interesting way that came out. Okay, so number 2. So the decks that I'm using, I already mentioned the Life Purpose Oracle by Doreen Virtue. I'm also using the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. I'm using the Ascended Masters by Doreen Virtue. Past Life Oracle by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss, and Native Spirit cards by Denise Lynn. Okay, so the first card is career change. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance that you desire and deserve. Okay, so I feel like for you in 2020, you are leaving your job, making some kind of change. And the spirits are saying that it's something that you manifested. This is something that you've known you were supposed to do, and you've been trying to manifest it for a while. But when I look at these cards, in general, I feel like you've been resistant. Okay, so maybe you've wanted to change careers, but you've been afraid. And maybe it's because of money, or maybe you worry, like, can I really make it? You might be someone that has what we describe as a quote unquote 3D job. And you've been wanting to move towards a more spiritual career, or just change things up. And you know what? You've been afraid, maybe afraid to lose the money or the stability that that's offering. But you're manifesting this, you know, you've been desiring this, and now it's time to trust. Now that's the message about career change from the masters. Trust the situation. Then we have this card, teaching. You inspire young people to learn. Okay. Well, again, we have two things here. And remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. For some of you, this is going to involve a career of teaching. Again, don't necessarily put yourself in a box where you're going to be a school teacher. You could just be teaching people a new skill, maybe teaching them how to be more spiritual, maybe teaching them healing skills. And that could be part of this career change for you. But for the majority of you, what I'm feeling about this card, teaching, is actually that you've been under an experience, or you will come under an experience in 2020 that's a lesson, that's teaching you something. And remember, the first card that I drew here was actually the deception card. And I wasn't sure about it, and I put it back. But looking at these two cards, maybe that was the right card. This card here is playing it safe. Okay? Now, definitely this playing it safe card goes with what I said, where you've been wanting to make this change, but you haven't fully been able to trust that this is a safe change for you. And like, you've been afraid to step out of your box. You've been afraid to step out of this narrow view of yourself. And that's changing. And when I think back to that card, deception, I think what they were saying is you were deceiving yourself somehow. Your fears have been deceiving you from believing that you couldn't or shouldn't make this career change. And for some of you, maybe it's just a matter of timing, and the timing wasn't ready. But, you know, the time is approaching this year. The Ascended Master's message is let it go. So again, I feel like for most of you, the teaching card relates to a situation that was teaching you something. And for some of you, what that relates to is the job that you're in. Because some of you really disliked that job and have been wanting to leave, but you felt financially tied to it. And now it's time to let it go. You're learning the lesson, or you will be learning the final lessons around that job so that you can leave it. Or maybe there are skills that you needed to learn from this job. You know, it could be actual job skills that you were learning. But now the guides are saying, get ready to let that go. Time to decide. Make a decision based on your heart's true desire. Okay, so they're saying, again, like, you're getting what you wanted. You've been wanting to make this change, and the universe wants to deliver that change to you now. But you've got to decide. And you may be put into a situation where you literally have to make the decision, and you need to take a little bit of a risk. Again, I'm just a reader. Like, you have to sort out your own life. Don't just up and quit your job. I'm not telling you just to up and quit your job without a backup plan. But this is, to me, as I read the cards, this seems to be a very clear message. And even the stone that came with this reading, pyrite, right, is fool's gold. And it's a crystal that has to do with abundance. And so I feel like the cards are saying that the time is now, or the time is coming to make this change, and that you'll be able to have the abundance that you desire through these things. So again, time to decide, and then we have loss. Okay, so like I said, you felt tied to this old job. You don't know how to move on. At the same time, you're feeling like my ship is leaving, or maybe you've been feeling like, when is my ship going to come in? And again, the time is now to make the change, to untie yourself and get on board that ship and let that ship sail. The Master's message is, Moses, take charge of this situation. So whatever it is that you've been struggling with around your career or your purpose, this card is saying you have more power than you think you do. You have charge of this situation. You just have to make the decision. And I feel like your guides have been waiting for you to make this final decision. Well, this card is body work. Your life purpose involves body work, such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, or exercise training. Okay, so I feel a lot of you actually, this is kind of the core of what you're wanting to do, some kind of body work. Again, be very expansive with this card. There's so many things that come from body work, or from exercising, helping people get in shape, doing energy healing. There's so many ways that we can do energy healing, or just laying hands on the body. For some of you, it might even involve like tattooing people, or doing something creative with people's bodies somehow. Yeah, I mean, for most of you, I feel like that's what you're being called towards in some respect. If not, if that doesn't resonate with you at all, then I would say that the cards are saying that you may need some body work. You may need to go get a massage, do some energy healing, work on exercising, and doing that body work is going to help you make this decision that you haven't been clear on. Now we had two cards come out here as clarifiers: letting go and hidden motivation. So we've already had one card, let it go. And now this card, hidden motivation, is coming up to say that there's been something in your subconscious that you haven't been able to let go of, or that you haven't seen clearly. And this is going to be revealed to you. What was hidden is going to come out, because that's what you need to let go of. Again, it could be you could benefit from body work in order to understand more of what this hidden motivation is. What this card really means, hidden motivation, is that you're wanting to manifest something and it's not happening. And it's because you have an inner conflict about it that's been preventing it from actually manifesting. Okay? And that's what we talked about here. It's like you've been saying, I want it, I want it, I want it. But there's been a hidden part of you, a subconscious part of you that's been going, no. I'm too afraid. I don't want to take a risk. I don't have trust in this situation. Maybe it's like I need to take care of my family, and for that I need this steady job. So there's been something, your wants and your needs have not been in line, you know? And so they're saying bring those things in line, and that's being shown by Melchizedek's spiritual law of attraction, which is saying like you're attracting things into your life. If you're having a hard time at your work, if you feel like people are talking about you or you're not getting along with people, if you've been wanting to make a career change, Melchizedek here, like we said, there's something about your own energy that's been indecisive. You hadn't learned all your lessons. You hadn't got the full message that Spirit's been giving you. So in 2020, it's time to bring your heart's desire. Remember, this card says make a decision based on your heart's true desire. It's time to actually align your thoughts with your heart's true desire, and you're going to see that manifesting this year. Now, what the past life skills are that you're going to bring forth in 2020 to help you with this mission is monk or nun. And interestingly, we just had this card in reading number 1 as well. So this is saying that in a past life, you were a monk or a nun, and you built skills around compassion and service and sacrifice, of being someone that's very caring, and you've sacrificed your own desires in the past in order to help others or in some way serve God. Again, what I said last time was don't limit it to Christianity. There's other types of monks and nuns as well. And probably many of you have been all different types. But this energy is being gifted back to you again this year. It's this, for me, what I'm feeling is service. You're leaving a job where you haven't been happy. Maybe you were in a job, I said at the beginning, 3D, a job that doesn't resonate with you because it's not of service. It's not coming from your heart, and you don't feel like you're really helping people. So this is coming out to help you find your niche where your gift of service is. And this card is leaving or traveling. So I feel like traveling is another part of this career change for you. It may involve moving, or it may involve, it may involve that you're traveling more for this new job, but they're telling me leaving. They're saying there's a career change, and leaving is something. So it could be that you're needing to cut cords with the past. It could be that the job that you're in now is something karmic, or maybe the people at your job are some kind of karmic connection, and it's time to leave it. Let it go now. You're moving on to something bigger and better. And they're saying, don't be afraid. You've done this before. You've basically packed up your few belongings and you've moved on. You know how to do that, and you can do it once again. Now, your message from Native Spirit is Great Mystery. That's such a beautiful card. I love the colors on it. So let's see what the message is, and I'm going to read these. Have faith and know that you're divinely guided. Even when you have doubts, trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Believe. You've planted your seeds. Now allow the Creator to do the rest. Even if you can't see into the future, have faith that the path will be illuminated and go forward. If you have any reoccurring challenges, turn them over to the Creator. Not my will, but thy will be done. Many Native cultures refer to the Creator as the Great Mystery. It's the idea that the Great Spirit is so vast and profound that in many ways it's unknowable. Faith is the foundation of the ability to manifest. Everything was created because someone believed it was possible, and patience is absolutely crucial in the application of this principle. Trust. Change can happen in a heartbeat, but some things require time. You've planted the seeds, now give them time to grow. Please be patient and know it will happen. Whatever receives your care and attention will flourish. Well, it's certainly a beautiful card that goes with this reading, because it's telling you that it's time to trust. You've been wanting to do it. You've been wanting to make this change, and this is the year where Spirit is really going to be guiding you. Don't worry about what you're losing, what you're walking away from. Trust that this is part of your plan and part of your higher purpose. So I hope that this reading resonated with you. If you would like a personal reading, either about love or your career or your healing, your ascension journey, you can visit my website, which is Twinstrology. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay, if you chose cards number 3 or the Celestite, this is your reading. Okay. So the decks I'm using, I told you about the Life Purpose Oracle by Doreen Virtue. I'm also using the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, the Ascended Masters deck by Doreen Virtue, the Past Life Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss, and Native Spirit cards by Denise Lynn. Okay, so your messages about your mission this year. The first one is school. The answer that you're seeking involves going to school. You're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. Talk to your angels. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. And career change. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance that you desire and deserve. Okay, so the first card, school. Okay, so for those of you that chose number 3, I feel like your primary message here is that you're learning a new skill this year. You're needing to go back to school. Well, for some of you, it could be that you're going back to school. For others, it could just be, learning something new, but you're meant to make a change. And of course, we have this career change card, which, by the way, came out for number 2 as well. But it's a little bit different from number 2 because I feel like for you, it involves taking the time to learn something new. And the 2 cards we have that clarify that is great achievement and positive change, both of which have pretty much the same message, that this is going to be something very positive for you in 2020 to learn something new. So maybe a lot of you that are watching this, maybe you've been wanting to make a career change, but you've been on the fence about it. Maybe you didn't have the money, or maybe you question whether it was really what you're meant to do. Well, 2020 sees you ready to make the changes, which, let's go to this next row of cards. You're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. Some of you may already be in school, and perhaps 2020 is a year where you're finishing up what you've been learning, where you graduate and you begin the next phase of your life through your career change. For some of you, this You're on the Right Path card is saying, we've been guiding you. We know that your guides are saying, we know what's in your heart. We know what you want to do. It's the right path for you. And the card after it, taking steps. Okay, very clearly, like how much better could you get than you're on the right path and taking steps, and she's walking along a path. Your guides are saying, yes, make this change. Learn this skill. Take this chance. And Ganesh is saying yes. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. So for some of you, you may have felt like there was something blocking your path. And so maybe you weren't sure. How am I going to get over this block? Could be financial block. Could be not trusting yourself, not knowing whether you're able to do this. But Ganesh is saying yes. Yes, go for it. And the blocks are going to be removed in 2020. This card also came out with Ganesh, Paul the Venetian, Artistic Expression. And so this card is saying, yes, express yourself. Whatever this skill is that you want to learn or that you have been learning, this is a way for you to express yourself. It's a way for you to bring your creativity. Whatever that is, it doesn't have to be related to art. You know, any time that you're creating something, that you're building something, that you're, psychic work, energy work, any kind of healing work, writing, counseling, I could go on, teaching, all of those things are a way of expressing your creativity. So they're saying, yes, this is a perfect way for you to express yourself. Talk to your angels. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. So this is something that you haven't been trusting. You haven't been trusting if this is the right thing for you to do, or if you're one of those that have been studying this other path already. Maybe you're worried. Like, am I going to get this position? Is there going to be something fruitful at the end of this path? And this card is saying consciousness of lack. And there's gold here. There's this space in this heart, and it's gold. So you've been dealing with a little bit of stuck energy in your heart chakra around abundance. And you've been worrying, is this going to bring me enough money? Is this going to really bring me joy? Is this going to move me forward? And it's interesting, this man here, he's got his foot on a stack of books, which is another, I don't even know why that's there, a consciousness of lack. I don't know why he's standing on a bunch of books, other than how perfect does that go with school? Okay, for some of you it could be teaching too. Teaching people in some way. But the angels are saying, don't worry. Ask us for help. 2020 is a year where you work on healing your belief in lack. And Kutumi is saying, stay focused from the Ascended Masters. I just want to check something from the deck, because I always forget. I know that there's the perfect message from Kutumi, and I always forget it, even though I get this card so much. Keep your promises to yourself. Commit to your priorities. Spend time each day devoted to projects that are dear to your heart. Okay, so I feel like what this row is saying is, don't get lost in your fears. Stay focused on what it is you're trying to create. Stay focused on how you're trying to express yourself. You can do this, you can learn this, or you can teach this. And then career change. You're embarking on a career change that brings joy and abundance that you desire and deserve. So, something about you, for some of you, is you don't feel like you deserve abundance. You don't feel like you deserve a great achievement. And so you've been hesitant to take the steps that you need to take to move yourself forward. But 2020 is a year for change. Deception. This card has come up, I think, in every single reading. So I feel like the deception card here is you're not trusting, somehow you're deceiving yourself, or you're getting lost in your projections, and you're feeling like, I'm not going to be supported, I'm going to be judged, people are going to be talking about me. For some of you, you have a deception around the job that you're in now. I feel like you're not happy at the job you're at now, but maybe you keep telling yourself, well, this is safe, this is what I know, this is what brings me the paycheck. And so you've been hesitant to make the change. But I feel like if you don't make the change this year, like things at your current job, or there's things with someone in your life that is going to escalate to kind of force you into the change. Now, this is an interesting card to come up, Twin Flame with deception and career change. So I feel like for some of you, what's motivating the career change is your twin flame relationship or your soulmate relationship. It could be that because they sparked this awakening in you, or you're watching the things that they're doing, or just that your twin flame has brought all this healing to you. Now you're able to see where you were deceiving yourself, and you're more ready to take the steps to make that change. For some of you, you might have fears about making this change and how it will affect your twin flame or soulmate relationship. Maybe you think that they're not going to support you, or maybe you think that they are going to be unhappy with the change that you make. For some of you, your mission in 2020 is going to be to help twin flames and to help people in general become more authentic, more real, more honest, and in that way, like that would be taking place with twin flames. I mean, ultimately, the twin flame card is about healing and all the things that are triggered when we meet a heart catalyst connection. And that person awakens us to all the different deceptions we've been living in our life. And for you, one of those deceptions might be that your career that you have is not in alignment with your soul's purpose. Just going to check that card, make sure I'm not missing a possibility here. Well, it does say keep your heart open, stay positive, and follow your guidance to manifest your prayers about your love life. Okay, and for another segment of you, again, take which one resonates with you. It's a general reading. For some of you, your career change involves your twin flame. So perhaps 2020 is a year where your mission with your twin flame is emerging. And it might even be a complete shock to you. It might even be like neither one of you are really being honest or truthful with each other right at the moment, but somewhere along the line, there's a possibility that because of your meeting or because of the healing that you've completed, it's time to start mission. Well, actually, like I know people that work with their twin flame. I know a lot of people that work with their twin flame. Sometimes it's good because like they might be having a purpose together, and there's twin flames that are not currently in a romantic relationship, and yet they're actually working on their mission together. Some of you are in a relationship, but you've yet to start your mission. For some of you, I completely dropped my thought now. For some of you, like, both of those things are coming. The relationship and the mission could be coming. There may still be some difficulties that have to be cleared away in 2020. For some of you, it could be that this career change, and for many of you, it's going to involve, like I said, going back to school, learning something new. It could be this is setting you up for your purpose. You may not see right now how that purpose is going to connect to your twin, and yet you'll find that down the line it does. And again, I'm looking at this card, taking steps. It's like you taking the action steps to work on your purpose, to fulfill your mission, whether or not this person is here with you right now, is part of what brings you into alignment with that person. But yeah, very exciting and a very good card to get for those of you that chose number 3 and who are in a twin relationship. The past life skills that you're bringing with you, or the past life skills that you are returning to in 2020, that's going to help you with this, right? So maybe something that you're contemplating learning is something that you've already learned in the past. So the first card here is farm. So for some of you, what your mission involves is food, growing food, or using food as nourishment. For some of you, it's working with animals. May not necessarily be farm animals, but what I'm getting is just farm animals in general. It could be that you're returning to a rural area. Maybe right now you live in the city, and in 2020, as part of your new journey, you move more towards the country. Could be that you're working more with your hands. Of course, environmentalism, ecology, organics, all of those things come into the farm heading. Again, this is kind of an interesting card to get here, but like I feel like there's something that you learned on a farm in the past that's helping you. And it could be like cooperation, it could be community, it could be family. Second card is father. Okay, so well, what I'm getting the strongest is that this energy of lack or worry, or why you've been afraid to move forward in this quest, is something related to your father. Maybe your father didn't support you, or you don't think he would support you in this, or maybe your father was just by nature someone that had kind of a consciousness of lack. Maybe he was always worried about whether there was going to be enough. Maybe he was always worried about money, or maybe money is a priority to your father, and he has put this pattern in your subconscious of, I've got to have a lot of money in order to feel comfortable or to feel like I'm a success. Or maybe your father just never supported you. And so you have some internal fears about moving forward or trusting this path that you're on. Although for some of you that's going to be the opposite. It's going to be that your father was a karmic person in your life that was actually there for you and that is helping you. Even if your father's not incarnated right now, your father is somehow helping you with this. Remember, sometimes people help us in ways we don't expect. Like you've heard that saying, cruel to be kind. You might have experienced some harsh energy from your father, but that was something that you had a contract for so that you would develop your own strength. So while, you know, my intention with this karmic card was what is returning to you, or what is your skill or strength that's coming back. For some of you, it's going to be either lessons learned here, or perhaps you're needing to cut some kind of cords or energy with your father. Could even be your mother if your mother was more the kind of masculine, dominant, more authoritative energy. And the last card here is Medicine Bag from the Native Spirit deck. Profound inner and outer healing is occurring. You're a natural healer. You're on the mend, and or a situation is being resolved. Have faith that it's happening. You are a sacred healer. You are a medicine woman, medicine man of the soul. Your native spirit wants you to know every indigenous culture has a tradition of healers. Depending on the culture, they're called medicine men, medicine women, shamans, kahunas, sangomas, curanderos, among others. And if I pronounced any of that wrong, forgive me. I'm really bad at pronouncing things. In every tradition, they're the individuals who are able to step between worlds to gain information, wisdom, and healing energies from their spirit allies. When this card chooses you, you're at the advent of healing emotional, physical, and mental wounds. Additionally, a powerful healing force is activating within you. Okay, so for a lot of you, or for some of you, I should say, what you're going to be learning or focusing more on learning is about actual healing. Again, use a very broad term. There's 1,000 different ways that we can embody the healing energy. But you have this gift. I mean, I also feel like the cards are very strongly saying that this is a year of healing for you. And for some of you, that healing relates to your twin flame. Like your twin flame has triggered a lot of stuff. Maybe you haven't known your twin very long and you're still, wondering how you're going to do all this. How are you going to clear all these things? Well, 2020 is really going to be a year of healing for you. A year of positive changes and achievement. There might even be some of you that, the school card is representing kind of teaching you something about yourself or about your healing that is going to propel you on your mission. But I feel like while this is, for many of you, a year where you heal yourself, it's where you're really learning the skills to become the healer. There's a saying, healer, heal thyself. And when we become healers, We have to go through a lot of our own initiation and our own healing to understand how to help other people with theirs. I mean, we have to have the compassion, the nurturing, the understanding to be able to help others. And it does mention spirit helpers as well. And I did mention this, but again, for those of you whose father is in spirit, I feel like maybe 2020 is a year where you really connect with your father, or you're needing to forgive your father. And if he's in spirit, he can help you with that. And this is part of just like your support and your healing. So yeah, let me just clarify that. So either your father's in spirit and that your father's going to become a guide and a supporter for you, or 2020 is a year where you really heal something with your father's energy, whether they're in spirit or in earthly form. So thank you so much. I hope that the reading resonated with you. If you'd like a personal reading about your purpose, about your career, about love, you can check out my website, which is Twinstrology. Thank you guys so much. Sending you a lot of love, and I'll speak to you soon.